Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Zakira and everybody else. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Nah, no, we prayed. Huh? What time is each other? I don't know, but it doesn't matter because tomorrow's changing. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So whatever it was tonight is over with. Ameen, ameen, ameen. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. نعم. So this week we're still doing it with the hadith of Abu Abdullah Nu'man ibn Bashir, and we talked about doubtful matters. And we talked about the fact that there are things that are specifically doubtful to individuals. Akhi, I wouldn't do that. And generally doubtful, you should stay away from that. That's a doubtful matter. And the thing that makes a thing religiously doubtful is any issue that's connected to something that is haram in its origin. So if something is connected for something haram in its origin, indirectly, then it will make it doubtful. An example of that would be, can a Muslim barber, do fades? Will make it a doubtful matter. Why would it make it a doubtful matter? What's haram for the Muslims? Haram? This is not a principle. Whatever's haram for the Muslim is haram for the kafir. That's not a principle indeed. What's fade? When they have one part of the hair light and the other part of the hair dark. They cut the hair, they bald part of it and then let the other part grow. Yeah, that's called a fade. So like some people call it like a hat top. Yeah. Cut all it off on the side. They have a hat top. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, so this is a doubtful matter. Why? Because that is actually not a principle. In some matters, it's true. Alcohol, pork, and all of that, yes. However, when it comes to things like gold and silk, if a Muslim has a gold store and a silk store, although gold and silk are haram for men, from this ummah, it's permissible to sell it for men that are kuffar. Yeah. Men, we're not allowed to wear silk because of the authentic hadith is in Tirmidhi and others that the Prophet ﷺ held up gold and silk and said, these two, he said that these two are haram for the men of my ummah, halal for the women of my ummah. And he was holding up gold and silk. So, no. You saying that men can't wear gold? No. No gold rings, no gold chains, none of that. Yeah, or silk. That's for us, inshallah. If Allah forgives us and allows to Jannah, that's for us in the hereafter. But for the dunya, we're not allowed. But the women are allowed. Yeah. So if a man has a gold store, a jewelry store selling gold, and a guy wants a Cuban link and like that, so it's permissible to sell it to him. Umar radiallahu anhu had a silk robe or silk garment. And the Prophet gave it to him. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, what can I do with it? I can't wait. He said, give it to somebody you know. And he gave it to his brother. He gave it to his brother. So this shows that. Also the deep issue. Now, in a Muslim country, is no doubt. But in a non-Muslim country, this is where it becomes a doubtful matter. There's a big ikhtilaf between the scholars when it comes to this issue. Is it permissible to sell food during the daylight of the month of Ramadan? So it's no doubt that if it's a Muslim who does not have an excuse to not fast, then it's impermissible. It's impermissible. However, when people rush to say it's haram, you got a restaurant, you got to close it during Ramadan, and like that, which would send someone into bankruptcy, and they're living in a kafir land, then that's totally different. This individual, these kuffar, they can't even fast without shahada. They can't fast without shahada, so they can eat all they want. So if you have a restaurant in Darul Kufr, the most correct position is that yes, you can serve food to those kuffar during the daylight of Ramadan, but you cannot serve that food to a Muslim who is what? Who is supposed to be fasting but is not doing so because you're helping that Muslim in his disobedience. And some people try to say, no, it's the same with the kuffar. No, it's not the same with the kuffar. Because the kuffar cannot do any act of obedience from the acts of worship until they say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. Now, so so from those general doubtful matters, we spoke about the internet. The internet. The internet is a doubtful matter for everyone. Why? Because even for those who have self-control, things pop up and show up and that things like that. And we're not supposed to put ourselves in the place or in the situation for fitna. We're not supposed to throw ourselves into fitna. And the internet is fitna. The internet is fitna. Whenever try to deny this, is one or two situations. Either their heart has become so corrupted that they don't see fitna as fitna, or they're in denial. It's one of the two.
Did you say that internet is haram during Ramadan?
No, no, no. I said it's fitna. It's a doubtful matter.
Oh,
Doubtful matter, something that should be avoided because doubtful matters lead to haram. Because we don't have control over what is displayed from ads and what and pop up and things like that. Likewise, we don't have uh, control of ourselves if we're going to be totally honest. Everyone has a weak moment. Everyone has a moment of impermissible curiosity and things like that. So because of that, then it's something that should be avoided as much as possible. And I say this while giving a class over the internet.
Now, the reason why I said it, that question is like, internet is in 50 years, something like that.
Or more.
You know, how they know about the internet 10 to 15, I mean, hundreds of thousands of years ahead of time.
This is a beautiful question. Sheikh Jamil said,
why it be haram now?
Yeah. So Sheikh Jamil, may Allah preserve him, he said, beautiful question. So how can something that is only 10, 15, 20 years old, even if it was 100 years old, that the Quran was revealed over 1,400 years ago? So how do we, so how can we talk about halal and haram concerning the internet when it didn't exist? This is beautiful. So the situation, Sheikh Jamal, is that our religion has unequivocal principles of deduction and how do you say principles of deduction and analyzing people, places, things, and situations. So now, during the time of the Prophet, there were people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were people, places, things, and situations. Things happened that were halal, haram, obligatory, and like that. So now, if something was to take place today, and there's nothing, an ayah speaking about it like that. We do what is called in Islam al-qiyas. Qiyas is to analyze and judge based on a similar incident, or to analyze and judge based on a general principle. So this issue about the internet is based on the general principle that we're witnessing in this hadith, where the Prophet said, indeed, the halal is clear and the haram is clear. In between those two are affairs that are doubtful that not many people know about. So whoever stays away from that which is doubtful, then he keeps himself clear and clean with regards to his religion and his honor. And whoever delves into or goes into doubtful matters will eventually go into haram matters. So now, when we look at the internet based on the general principles of Islam, that we should strive toward good and stay away from evil. So we look at a person, a place, a thing, or a situation, and we say, okay, how much is that attached to things that Allah has made impermissible? Naked women, music, graven images, so forth and so on. So we look at all of the things that harm pork, liquor, intoxicants, whatever like that. So the person, place, situation, person, place, thing, or situation, the more those things are involved in that situation, the closer it becomes to being haram. And if it doesn't reach the point that is so covered in filth that it becomes absolutely haram, then it falls in between halal and haram, which becomes doubtful. So when it becomes doubtful, it means that we stay away from it. We look at it as if, and inshallah, this is okay, and this is an okay analogy to make, as if a person has been given a car and he wants to drive that car a certain distance. And without that vehicle, he's not going to be able to make it to that distance. But before giving them the car, the person says, I don't know if it's going to make it. So now that vehicle being reliable becomes doubtful. So now that person has to say, is it worth the risk? The internet takes the same position. I downloaded this book that we're reading for the Hadeeth off of here. I listened to Quran off of here and on lectures and like that. At the same time, twerking pops up. BBLs pop up. Is that right? So BBL. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Okay. BBLs pop up. Okay. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah. It's something that, not knowing it will benefit you or knowing it will hurt you. Yeah. So, all of this pops up at the same time. So now, based on how much of that pops up, it lets me know, is this internet thing helping me getting close to Allah? Is it reliable? Or is it like that car that I don't know if it's going to make it? You could try if you want, it's up to you. So now, I don't know if this internet is going to lead me to the hellfire or lead me to Jannah. It has both possibilities. Based on my strength of my iman, my strength of self-restraint, and how hard the shaitan of the shayateen, the devils of the internet, begin to call me to that which they're calling to. So now, which one should I do? So from that, we say, if we don't have a necessity to be on this thing, we get away from it. Other than that, we're putting ourselves in an area that could harm us religiously. Staying away from things that are not explicitly haram, but it has something that can harm you in your religion. Staying away from that in Arabic is called al-wara. And you have two, when it comes to purifying the soul, there are two major steps in purifying the soul. One step of purifying the soul is called az-zuhd. Az-zuhd, it means to abandon those permissible things in the dunya that will not benefit you in the hereafter. To stay with this halal. It's not haram. It's permissible. It's halal. But you say it's no benefit to me when I stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I don't need it. That's called zuhd. Al-wara is to stay away from those things that are not necessarily explicitly haram, but you believe it has an element in it that could harm you in the hereafter. So when a person begins to strive to get closer to Allah and wants to reach a higher level, he begins to implement az-zuhd first, because that's the easiest one. To stay away from unnecessary luxuries is easier than to stay away from what? Those things that may harm us, because the unnecessary luxuries are not necessarily connected directly to our desires. However, those doubtful matters that could bring harm in our akhirah, normally they're connected to our desires. And this is what makes the struggle even more difficult to practice al-wara. So the person says, you know what? For instance, the wife says to the husband, or the children say to the parents, let's go to the mall. Like, why? We have everything that we need and like that. No, just to look around and, is it haram? And the friends, I'm not going to tell you the mall is haram, but when we go through, the music is playing over the speaker and the men and women are mixing. And I'm going to see women, she's going to see men. And it's not really it's not a righteous environment. The Prophet ﷺ said he didn't make the marketplace haram. He said, but the most hated place on the face of the earth to Allah are the marketplaces. All of the deception and lying and trickery and all of that takes place in those places. So now this is a place that Allah hates, and He didn't make it haram, but Allah Ta'ala hates it. So now Should I go there to spend my day frivolously? If somebody wanted to do it, they could. But is there a danger in going there upon my religion? Yeah. Yeah. So like that. So that is the situation with general doubtful matters. And that's good that we ended up that. A mall will be another general doubtful matter. Nobody can say, well, it's doubtful for you, but not. No, just hanging out. You can shop there. If you ever need to shop there, no doubt. But to go there and make that your hangout and just walking around and looking around and like that, that's not good for us. The Prophet ﷺ told Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As three advices. He said, Kuf alik lisanik. He said, keep your tongue silent. Keep your tongue silent. وَسَعُكْ بَيْتُكْ وَيَسَعُكْ بَيْتُكْ. And let your house be sufficient for you. وَابْكِي عَلَى خَطَايَاكَ. And cry over your sins. That's the three advices I gave to him. Keep your tongue silent. Let your house be sufficient for you and cry over your sins.
What over yourself?
Huh?
You said what over?
Let your house be sufficient for you.
Okay.
You know, don't go out. You know, we always tell the women and stay quietly in your homes. Allah said, but that advice also is for the men. That we shouldn't be coming and going for no reason. We shouldn't be coming and going for no reason. We shouldn't be in and out in the streets and running around for no reason. Or coming in late at night and us hanging out. The men are not supposed to do that either.
First two I understood clearly, but the last one, what was the last one?
Cry over your sins.
Cry over your what?
Sins.
Oh, cry over your sins.
Yeah. Think about the times you disobeyed Allah,
right,
and cry and know that that's on your scale. That's something you may be questioning about. If Allah doesn't remove it and forgive us for it, then it's something we may be questioning about. So we should cry because of that. Cry because of that. And one of the righteous people of the past said, I forget if he said, you know when you have balance or you know when you're serious. I forget which one. But he said, when your sins being exposed to the people and your good deeds being exposed to the people are equal to you. You don't want either to be exposed. That's when you know you have balance or that you're serious. When you fear your good deeds being exposed just as much as you fear your sins being exposed. Nah. That's the ultimate fitna, Aklima. Aklima says, what about Muslim marriage sites? Ooh. Pray for my downfall. That is trouble. That is trouble. And many have been duped by that. You can put me on the top of the list. Many have been duped by the Muslim marriage site. And you go in there. I remember once upon a time, I'm not going to go too deep, you know, we're not Catholic. But I remember once upon a time I was searching for a spouse through those marriage sites. And I felt I was very strict. And I'm just sharing this, inshallah ta'ala, will be a benefit, and ask Allah ta'ala not to hold me accountable for it. Ameen. And I'm married at the time. You know, I can't remember I have not been married, as a matter of fact. Alhamdulillah. Ameen. So I'm married at the time, but I'm on a marriage site. I'm a man, I'm greedy. So I'm looking for something else. And if you say shit.
And can have more than one.
And can have more than one. I had two at the time. So, you know, looking for more than two, yeah. So I go on this site. So when I first go on this site, I'm very strict. I'm very serious. I'm looking for a wife. I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm not looking. Well, I was young then, so it couldn't have been a sugar baby. So I'm not looking for a girlfriend. So what happens? I'm not going to pay attention to any profile that has a picture because she should not have her picture on display. That's how it started. So I put the description of what I'm looking for in, and I'm only going to the profiles that don't have a picture. That's it.
Did you specify that?
Yeah, well, you can't specify because that's permissible on the marriage site, and they have their excuse for that they use on the Islamic marriage site. But as for me, no, I want somebody because of their deen, their character. I'm not worrying about those women in the pictures because they got lipstick on, they this and that. I'm not going to pay attention to that. Click only and then you read the description and you send the message and woo 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 and it started off good. It started off good. Uh, and then it just took one picture of someone that I consider, according to my taste, very beautiful to tempt me to click on it. I want to tell you how it almost destroyed me. I clicked on that one picture. One became two, two became five, five became seven, seven became 30. And next thing you know, I'll read about the character after I click on this picture. Right? That's what it became. So now I'm done. I didn't find anything. It didn't work out. I'm done. I closed my account. That's the end of it. One time, Imam Shafi'i, he said he was walking in the marketplace and a woman's calf was revealed, was exposed. And he didn't see it, because seeing something is what intention. He looked at it. He looked at it. And I believe he said to himself, or his companion said to him, that look that you took, the impermissible look that you took, is going to affect you, even if it's over a period of time. So what happened to me? I'm looking, and then I stopped. I'm done. I find myself riding transportation in Egypt, and I'm like a chicken. Mm-hmm. Neck moving everywhere. I can't. Normally, I keep a small Quran with me to make review and a small book of knowledge to make review, or maybe three or four, and have it in my little bag. And that's how, I move. But now I have my little bag with my small Quran, my little books with, but instead I'm looking out the windows of the bus like a chicken, my neck moving like a chicken, looking everywhere, right? Now, normally, if I stop at the bus stop, I didn't have a car anything. But if I stop at the bus stop, I stop, I read, make review, and like that. I didn't have a phone. So looking. I start to notice this about myself. I also start to notice my amazement at the beauty of my wives decreased. It decreased. I still said, nice looking women, but it wasn't like it used to be. So I started saying, what's wrong? What's going on? So now I have to do self-evaluation. What's going on? I notice now when I go to the market, usually when I go to the marketplace, I'm in and out. I'm in, I already know what I'm going to get. My wives give me a list. I'm going there, boop, 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 boop. I get it in bulk, pack it up, put it inside of a truck and pay him. And he takes me home, drop it off, and then we take it up into the house. Now I'm in the market, a chicken, a rooster. So what's going on? So I said, my gaze is gone. I can't control it. It was uncontrollable. And I'm trying to figure out what has happened to me. So I'm like, here's what I do. I'm trying to figure out what I did. So now I go to my family. You know anything different about me when we go out or anything like that? I'm trying to see if they picked up on it. I said, what you mean? What do you mean? I said, anything different about me, my manners, anything like that? And I know you seem normal like that. I said, you don't notice that I'm reading like I normally do when we go out? This, oh yeah, I did notice that. This and that. I said, yeah, I'm trying to figure out why. I said, I'm looking around and I'm seeing more than I should see. Roaming, thank you. Roaming. And when you're roaming and you're not on your network, it costs more. It costs a whole lot more. You get a different kind of bill if you go roaming. So what happens? I'm sitting one day trying to figure out what sin did I commit that made me this weak. And I couldn't figure it out until finally I said, it's this. I have been like this ever since I was on the website, looking at those pictures. Ever since I was on that website, this is how my gaze has been. So then I did a study on myself. I returned to taking the books out. It was a habit. It became a duty to pull those books out and focus on them. It used to be a habit. No, pull it right out. Only look up to see if I think I'm near my stop and go back down like that. After my gaze was let loose, it became a duty. Like, look down, look down, look down, look down, look down. Don't look up, look down, look down, look down. It became a duty. Burden. Keep my face in the book.
He had lost his sense of lowering your gaze.
Yeah.
He had lost his sense.
Yep. So now I'm trying to get it back, fighting for it. Keep my face in the book. When I go to the bus stop, instead of sitting, looking around, seeing who's coming and going, what do? I get near a wall, turn my back to the street. I might ask somebody, let me know when the bus comes, turn my back to the street and put my face in the book. I don't even want to see people walking back and forth. I did that study on myself and wanted to see the effects of it when it came to my family. After about, I want to say 2 weeks, subhanAllah, things were almost back exactly to the way they were. When I go home, I'm impressed. Why? Because I wasn't busy being impressed on the street. The eyes and ears are receivers. The brain and the heart are processors. So I was receiving and processing this woman, tall woman, short woman, that woman, thin woman, thick woman, this, that. So I was receiving, and then automatically, without intention, as soon as you go in the house, what happens? Your your memory bank does now takes the image of your family and put it next to the image of something else you were impressed with. Take the image and put it next to that image. Oh yeah, she's beautiful, but see that one you saw, that one you saw there, that one you saw there, and it was destroying me. But now I had real pictures in my head to put it with. And like that. So this is the problem. On my claim. So that's the problem with it. Now, for a man, it's dangerous. For a woman, it's destruction. Especially if she's married. Especially if she's married. Why? She only can have one husband. This is why lowering the gaze is obligatory. The ayah, Allah mentioned the men before the women. Tell the believing men to lower their gaze and guard their private part. And tell the believing women to lower their gaze and guard their private part. And don't reveal their beauty. And don't, and until the end of the verses. But both have to lower their gaze. What the problem is, the Prophet told us, the men, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told the men, if you see something that attracts you, then go to your wife because she has what she has. Right?
That was smart.
I know. He's getting from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the problem is a man can actually become infatuated with a woman that's not his wife, and he can kill it by marrying her. Or what happens if a woman becomes infatuated with a man that's not her husband? There's only one or two evil things going to happen. She's going to have to destroy her household in order to be with that man in a legal fashion, or she's going to end up with that man in an illegal fashion. Or let's say the third one, which is the less, but it's all evil, that she's going to be with her husband while actually imagining being with another man. Yes, sir.
The eyes can speak.
Yeah.
If you see a woman, you make eye contact with her.
Yeah.
Make eye contact with you. Y'all talking now.
Mm-hmm.
Either she'll lower her or,
or keep giving you the signals.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Body language.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The Prophet ﷺ said in Hadeeth and Sunnah Abi Dawood and others, he said what? كُتِبَ عَلَى ابْنِ آدَمْ حَظَّهُ مِنَ الزِّنَا لَا مَحَالَةَ. He said, it has been written upon the child of Adam his portion of fornication is no way around. And he began with what you just said. He said, so the fornication of the eyes is the look, and the fornication of the ears is the listen, and the fornication of the tongue is the speaking, and the fornication of the feet is the walking, and the fornication of the hands is the touching. He said the heart desires and the private parts either confirm or deny. Now, I heard recently, and I don't know the website on Aklima, there is a website that has no pictures on it. No pictures on it. Now, I forget what it is. That is the one you should use. Pictures are a problem. Pictures are a problem. They are trouble. So, yeah, if you're going to use those marriage websites, use the websites that doesn't well, why would a Muslim woman be on there? It's a shame to say, but some women, you know, due to their past, they're used to setting up the next relationship before ending the first one. This is a sad reality we have to accept. Some women try to set it up. They know they're on their way out the door, either because they're done with it or they know the man is done with them. So they begin working on the next one before the first one ends. Wallahu musta'an. They're not even divorced and already entertaining the idea of another man. A'udhu billah. Nah. So these are the doubtful matters in general and specific. In general, these are examples of general and specific doubtful matters, and this is why the internet is included. So, let's go to the explanation of the hadith. Ibn Daqiq al-Eid says, هذا الحديث أصل عظيم من أصول الشريعة. قال أبو داود السجستاني الإسلام يدور على 4 أحاديث ذكر منها هذا الحديث وأجمع العلماء على عظيم موقعه وكثير فوائده. He said this hadith is a mighty principle from the principles of our legislation. Abu Dawood al-Sajistani, he's the one who has the Sunan Abi Dawood. He said Islam revolves around 4 hadith, and he mentioned from those 4 hadith, this hadith. And the scholars have gathered and agreed upon the great status of this hadith and the many benefits that's in it. قوله إن الحلال بين, in his statement that indeed the halal is clear. وإن الحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات. And between the two are doubtful matters. يعني أن الأشياء 3 أقسام. It means that things divide into 3 categories. فمن نص عليه تحليل فهو حلال. So whatever the text of Quran and Sunnah says halal, then it's halal. كقوله تعالى, like Allah the Most High is saying, أحل لكم الطيبات عفوا أحل لكم الطيبات والطعام الذين أوتوا نعم أحل لكم عفوا الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم. He said, and it has been made permissible for you the good things, and the food of the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, is halal for you. وكقوله وأحل لكم ما وراء ذلكم, and whatever besides that is permissible for you. ونحو ذلك, ونحو ذلك, and that which is similar to that. وما نص عليه عفوا وما نص الله على تحريمه فهو حرام حرام البين, and whatever the text Allah Ta'ala has revealed the text saying that it is haram, then it is clearly haram. مثل قوله تعالى حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم الآية, like Allah's statement, and haram for you for marriage is your mothers and your daughters, the verse. Also, like Allah said, وحرم عليكم صيد البر ما دمتم حرما وحرم عليكم صيد البر ما دمتم حرما عفوا. And also, hunting by land is impermissible for you while you are in ihram. وكتحريم الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. This is a serious. Comes to Surah Al-An'am and other sources from the Quran. May Allah help us. Ameen. May Allah help us. And He has made impermissible for you lewdness, that which is apparent from it, out in front of the people, and that which is hidden when you're all by yourself. Lewdness is haram. Lewdness is haram. Even when you call it masturbation. In Arabic, is called one name for this istimna, but another the famous name that is used in Arabic for it is al-ada as-sirriya, the secret habit. The secret habit. That's what masturbation is called in Arabic. Al-ada as-sirriya, the secret habit. SubhanAllah. So Allah said, يحرم عليكم الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن, that He made impermissible for you lewdness, that which is open and that which is hidden. وكل ما جعل الله فيه حدا أو عقوبة أو وعيدا فهو حرام. And everything that Allah Ta'ala has made a prescribed punishment for it, or a chastisement for it, or He threatened with some type of punishment for it, then it is haram. أما الشبهات فهي كل ما تنازعه الأدلة من الكتاب والسنة. نعم. تتجاذبه المعاني فالإمساك عنه ورع. We just talked about this. He said, it's everything that there has been a difference of opinion, is not agreed upon in Kitab wa Sunnah, and it is affected by the meaning. So, what is meant by this and what is meant by that, that causes it to be a difference of opinion. فَالْإِمْسَاكُ عَنْهُ وَرَعٌ. So refraining from it is from wara, meaning to leave off that which could harm you in the akhirah. Zuhud is to leave off that which doesn't benefit you in the akhirah, and wara is to leave off that which could harm you in the hereafter. Nah.
Caution.
Taking precaution. Jazakallah khair. He said, وَقَدْ اخْتَلَفَ الْعُلَمَاء في المتشابهات التي أشار إليها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في هذا الحديث. And the scholars have differed concerning the doubtful matters that the Prophet was pointing to in this hadith. فقال طائفة هي حرام لقوله استبرأ لدينه وعرضه. So they said, although a group of the ulama said, although he's calling them doubtful matters, they are still haram matters, because the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever stays away from them has protected his religion and his honor. And protecting your religion and your honor is obligatory. قالوا now ومن لم يستبرئ لدينه وعرضه فقد وقع في الحرام. And so whoever didn't protect his religion and his honor has indeed fell into something haram. وقال الآخر هي حلال بدليل قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث كالراعي يرعى حول الحمى. He said, in the proof that they're halal is the statements of the Prophet, like a shepherd who grazes his sheep on the outskirts of a private pasture. So although that's dangerous, those sheep might go ahead into their private pasture. As long as they haven't gone in there yet, they're not doing anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. La ilaha illallah. So he said, فَيَدُلُّ عَلَى أَنَّ ذَلِكَ حَلَالٌ. So that points to that's being permissible. وَأَنَّ تَرْكُهُ وَرَعٌ. And to abandon it is wara, is to leave off that which may be harmful. It may be harmful. وقال طائفة أخرى المتشابهة المذكورة في الحديث لا نقول إنها حلال وإنها حرام. He said, and then another group of scholars said, as far as the doubtful matters that are mentioned in this hadith, we're not going to say that they're halal, we're not going to say that they're haram. فإنه صلى الله عليه وسلم جعلها بين الحلال والحرام. He said, because بين الحلال البين والحرام البين. He said, because the Prophet himself put it between the clear halal and the clear haram. The Prophet put it between the two. So we can't clearly say that they're halal, and we can't clearly say that they're haram. If the Prophet said that they're between the two. فينبغي أن نتوقف عنها. So it is a must that we just avoid it. So basically, they're taking the position of the first. Now, or the second. Either way, all of them, but notice that all of them are saying it's best to stay. Even the ones who say it's halal, they said, but it's best to avoid it. The ones that haram said it's obligatory to avoid it. The ones that said it's halal, but it's best to avoid it. And the ones that said we're not going to say it's halal haram, they said, but it's important that they should be avoided. وهذا من باب الورع أيضا. And both of them, the one that said it's halal and the one that says we're not going to say either one, they said it's from the point of not doing something that could harm you. Not doing something that could harm you. No. وقد ثبت في حديث الصحيحين من حديث عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت اختصم سعد بن أبي وقاص وعبد ابن زمعة في غلام. اختصم سعد بن أبي وقاص وعبد ابن زمعة في غلام. So Sa'd ibn Waqqas and Abd ibn Zam'a argued about a slave boy. قال سعد يا رسول الله هذا ابن أخي عتبة ibn Abi Waqqas. So Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, this is my nephew, the son of Utbah, the son of Utbah. أهدى إلي أنه ابني." And he made a covenant with me that he would be like my son. انظر إلى شبهه. Look at his resemblance. Look at his resemblance of شبهه. Look at how he resembles. وقال عبد ابن زمعة هذا أخي يا رسول الله ولد على فراش أبي من وليدته. He said, this is my brother, O Messenger of Allah. He was born on my dad's bed by his mother. فنظر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فرأى شبها بينا بعتبة. So the Prophet looked at him and he saw that he did resemble Utbah, the brother of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. فقال, and then he said, هو لك يا عبد ابن زمعة الولد للفراش وللآهر الحجر. But he still ruled that the boy should go with Abd ibn Zam'a. He said he's for you. Take him with you because the child belongs to the one whose bed he was born. He can look like who he want to look like. Whose bed was he born in? And this is a deep issue. I'm not going to get into it much. But in reality, in Islam, paternity tests are not evidence. Paternity test is not evidence. Who was she with? Where was the child born? Who was she with when the child was born? That's the strongest evidence. If we want to, especially, it especially cannot be used as evidence for proof of fornication or adultery. I'll go that far into that issue. Why? 97.98%, 99.99%, 99.99%. That missing percentage is like 4 witnesses bearing witness that someone committed zina. And one of them saying, Wallahi, I'm almost 100% sure. It's over. That's called reasonable doubt. We are the first ones to establish reasonable doubt. That's like, imagine a witness. Look at that paternity test and that 0% that's missing. And think if that was a human being speaking, saying, I'm 99% positive and can't say 100. That test can't say 100. If that test can't say 100, it's not evidence. If a person was standing in front of you and said, I saw everything, I'm 98% sure, like some of the tests come back 98, 97, 99. Imagine someone saying to you, are you sure? Let's put the situation of somebody going to give the death penalty or something like that. You say, you sure it's him? I'm 98% sure it's him. Did somebody die with somebody saying that? There we go. That's called reasonable doubt. Those paternity tests have reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. SubhanAllah. But Allah said, يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ, the day that the secrets will be exposed. Nah.
Well, the child is born upon that person that's there is the child's father.
Huh?
If the child is born, that person that is there is the child's father.
If the mother was with a man and it's suspicion that she was cheating, but she got pregnant while she was with that man, while having rumors about her cheating, and the child was born while she was with that man, then that man, you can bring all the paternity tests you want, that man is the child's father that she was with when the child was born. And the prophet said, and the fornicator or adulterer gets nothing but a stone.
Now, you saying that when the child was when the woman became pregnant.
Yeah, they were together.
Right.
And then she had the baby. And they said, oh, but she was creeping with so-and-so. But she was with him. And that's if she was with him in a legal relationship, meaning she was married to him or his slave girl. That's a legal relationship. But then she was creeping around with someone else. That was an illegal relationship. So only the one that actually had a legal relationship with her at the time she got pregnant has a right to claim the child. The one that didn't have a legal relationship with her, this is a companion that saw a young boy with his mother. And Hadeeth is a Sunnah Nabi Dawud and others. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, that boy is my son. I was with his mother in Jahiliyyah before I was Muslim. Mm. The Prophet ﷺ looked at the boy and looked at him. And she had a man at the time he was dealing with her.
Can I ask a question?
No.
When there's a woman, I would say dealing with two men, and would she know who got her pregnant? Or the men wouldn't know, but would she know? Or would they both know?
Allahu A'lam. Allahu A'lam, because she knows. Some women will actually know, and some women are so loose that they actually do not know. They don't know. And nobody actually knows, because only Allah knows when He calls which sperm to reach the egg. So nobody actually really knows. Right. But let's say she already had signs of being pregnant in the beginning stages before she began dealing with someone else at the same time. So then she knows that it's not this one, because she would already in the stages. And when the child is born afterward, if it's a full birth, that would be a telltale sign too.
She can also fool her husband that way also.
Yeah. And this is why one of the benefits of Surah Al-Mumtahina, the woman to be tested or the woman to be examined, that one of the conditions of a woman giving pledge to the Prophet ﷺ during his time is that the woman could not associate any partners with Allah, nor could she steal, nor could she commit fornication, nor could she invent false tales. Buhtan. And the false tales here means that she cannot have a child in her womb and attribute it to another man. This was part of Shahada. Woman wanted to take Shahada and be follow the Prophet ﷺ during that time, and it's still during this time. She wanted to come to Islam, she cannot come in attributing. And even in divorce, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Ta'ala said, that the divorced woman should wait 3 months. It is not permissible for them. In that 3-month waiting period, the husband has divorced, and now she got to wait 3 menstrual cycles. I'm sorry, not 3 months. She has to wait 3 menstrual cycles. So now let's say she misses her menses. So now she hides the fact that she misses her menses, because let's say she doesn't want to be with him because he divorced her, she doesn't want to be with him anyway. She hides the fact that she missed her menses, acts like she finishes her iddah, gets married to another man, and attributes that child that was already in her womb to another man. Now she's already, let's say, 2 months in, almost in her first trimester. So let's already say she's 2 months in. So she goes 4 times and she fakes like she came out, like the baby came out early. Because if she came out full term, it means you were pregnant before you met me. SubhanAllah, God gave birth for 7 months. And the baby still came out 9 pounds, 8 ounces. Anytime Allah revealed in the Quran more than one time that women should not hide the fact that they're pregnant, it shows that this was prevalent in that time. There was something going down then that Allah revealed. It's twice, at least twice in the Quran that says Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Mumtahina, that you cannot hide a child in your womb and blame it on somebody else. It's twice in the Quran. So serious. When anytime Allah sent it down, told the Prophet, if women want to come to make the bay'ah with you and pledge that they're going to be a Muslim, then they have to, from the things that they have to swear that they won't do is that they won't get pregnant and blame the child on somebody else. SubhanAllah. To be a Muslim. They had the promise that they won't do this. No. And then the Prophet said the fornicator gets nothing but the stone, meaning he doesn't get inheritance, he doesn't get any rights or anything like that. And then he told his wife to get covered because then she's not his relative. فَلَمْ تَرَهُ سَوْدَ قط. So Sauda never saw him. فَقَدْ حَكَمَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم بِالْوَلَدِ لِلْفَرَاشِ أنه زمعة على الظاهر وأنه أخو سودة زوج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأنها بنت زمعة. Subhanallah. So look, the Prophet ruled that the child should go to Zam'ah because what? The child was born on his father's bed. But Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas brought a doubt. So what did the Prophet do? Now, Zam'ah, this is Abd ibn Zam'ah. This is Sauda's brother. So now, if the boy is Abd ibn Zam'ah's nephew, it would be Sauda's nephew. But the Prophet still, because of that doubt, told Sauda, okay, Zam'ah, that's your brother. Sauda, put on your hijab. Sauda, put on hijab. Because it's a doubt that he's still your relative. So she still had to wear hijab in front of him, even though he could really be her relative, or maybe he's not her relative. SubhanAllah. So he told her to wear hijab, and he told her not to show herself in front of him. So she never saw him, he never saw her. وأنه أخو سودة. He's the brother of Sauda. زوج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأنها بنت زمعة. She's the daughter of Zam'ah. وذلك على سبيل التغليب لا على سبيل القطع. And this is by way of the situation that's going to be more than likely. It's not absolute. ثم أمر سودة بالاحتجاب منه لشبهة داخل عليه. So he told Sauda to wear the hijab in front of him, even though he ruled that he was the relative of Abd ibn Zam'ah and she's bint Zam'ah, but because of the doubt, she still needed to wear hijab. فالإحطاط لنفسه وذلك من فعل الخائفين من الله عز وجل. So he did that which was safer for himself, and this is what the people who fear Allah Ta'ala does. They do what is safe. إذ لو كان الولد لابن زمعة في علم الله عز وجل فلما أمر سودة باحتجاب منه كما لم يأمرها بالاحتجاب من سائر إخوانها. So if he was the brother of Sauda, why would the Prophet order Sauda to wear hijab in front of him, and he didn't do that with the rest of her brothers? Abd ibn Zam'ah, or other than him. It was just because of that doubt of him maybe being a brother of Sa'd ibn Waqqas, and he is not a relative of Sauda, so and so forth and so on. So we'll stop at this point of the hadith, but these issues of doubtful matters is very serious. May Allah help us and forgive us. This is why but the fact of her having it or not, she could not have him and say she had him. You're right, Aklima. But she could have I'm sorry, she could not have the period and said she had it. It came on. Oh, my first menses came on, went off. But most men don't follow that stuff up. We would. Her witnesses. The only thing we depend on. You get your menses. Yeah, my menses. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Came on again. Well, if it came on again. Well, okay. Yeah, divorce is over. The marriage is over with. And then come to find out what it wasn't. It never did come on. And she's pregnant, and she's going off to another marriage, and like that. So this is the danger. So that's why we need upright men and women in Islam. And may Allah Ta'ala protect us from the haram and protect us from the doubtful matters and make us from the people of az-zuhd wal-wara. Ameen. Ameen. So we'll stop here at this point. If there's any other questions or comments, we'll take them now. If not, we will stop the class here.
So we lose an hour tonight.
Yeah, at 12 a.m. I think, and shoot back. So Fajr is going to be. Let me see the schedule.
They got 6:30 up there, so it'll be 5:30 in the morning.
Oh wow! Yeah, they should have fixed that right now. Yeah, that should have been fixed while everybody was here.
What a time we lose an hour.
Yeah, they said fall, it falls back, and spring, it springs forward.
So I think at 1 a.m. it goes to 4:12 it goes on.
Yeah, well, here it says Fajr at 5:53 tomorrow.
5:53.
Yeah.
So we got to be here. No, that's clock here said we got to be at 6:30. So tomorrow morning we'll be here at 5:30. This.
I think that's the Adhan, right? 5:53 on the one they shared inside the group. Oh yeah. So we're gonna pray at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
They've already set this for tomorrow.
That's already set for tomorrow?
Since already been.
Where's Fajr? What it says Fajr?
6:30.
Yeah, that's already set for.
Yours 1 o'clock. Also is 3:30.
What time is Isha?
7:30. That's what I was asking.
No, 7. That's off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying.
No, that's on. They said next week. They said yeah, Sunday we're gonna be praying Isha at 7:30. Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
40 something.
Yeah. Okay.
What time is Fajr now? What time we got to be here? I'm not forgetting.
6:30.
In other time, what time
Be-
we got to prayer tomorrow morning?
The Iqamah is at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
6:30.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or before if you want to pray.
Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.